Wavetale has so many things that are amazing about it, and then other things that just aren't. It's such a mixed bag. And I've said this before, but I feel like this game is the definition of true duality. I mean, there's moments in the storytelling, in the voice acting, and even in the game where you just feel an incredible sense of freedom. But to be honest, there's also blaring deficiencies in this game that I cannot overlook. And honestly, they really affect the bottom line. How does it really stack up? Well, we're going to find out today. But first, I have to ask you guys to please hit that like and subscribe button. I really appreciate it. We're growing. I want to get to 1,000. We're almost going to, we'll be there soon. And, I've tried not to horn that in on every video, but every now and then I do have to remind you because I do notice the likes and subs don't pick up unless I beg for them like a dog with a treat on my nose. Anyway. On to Wavetale. This game starts off simple enough in the form of a bit of a tutorial as you're greeted to the main character, Sigrid, a teenage girl that has more hops than Jordan. Throughout the little intro, you're tasked with collecting these blue blobby things called sparks. And what they do is they kind of energize the island's light tower. Now this is important because there was a war that ended up causing this gloom to overtake most of society. This is almost post-apocalyptic as there's very few habitable lands and very few people in the society. And each of them live pretty much on a different island, so that makes interaction even more difficult in this world. Soon after taking control of Sigrid, you yourself are then involved in an attack. Like nothing you've ever seen before. Giant black waves of gloom come crashing down on your island, covering everything and blasting you far off course, as you pretty much end up stranded. It's gonna be the death of you. Until you meet a new friend. Somebody from, well, the gloom maybe. Or from the other side, it's hard to say. They mirror your movements through the water, allowing you to walk on the water, allowing you to surf, allowing you access to this world you've never been able to really explore on your own. And now you have this superhuman ability to ride the waves, to really get into just some incredibly fun exploring and fast-paced traversing. The fact that most of this world, I would say 99%, is water. And now, aside from having your life saved, this has become your playground. You now are able to go save other islands. You're able to restore what once was and bring the place back to normalcy of some sort. And early on, you find yourself traveling to different areas, different little islands where you restore power. Now, when you restore the power, this causes this light to disperse of some of the gloom, which gives you more access to the rest of the world. And, that kind of makes sense. It's almost like the Bowser's Fury thing. And I think Adam Millard said that, which was perfect. It's like a dead-on example of how this game works. Over time, you'll find people who need some help. You'll help them when you can for some monetary reasons. And this currency can only be used on customizables like hats or clothes or hair dye for Sigrid. The story itself is incredibly charming and interesting. It's fun to go meet these other people, a lot of whom are in despair, and you're able to help them and bring them joy by reuniting them with loved ones or very important items to them. Now, you and your trusty Ned are off to also collect sparks and power islands and help other islanders keep the gloom at bay. And I think Sigrid is such a great character because she's very positive, very upbeat, always looking to change the world for the better. And then as time grows, though, you see some growth in her. You see some change. As where her grandmother, who I absolutely love, is very harsh and quick to the point, and you also see a lot of growth in her as well. The whole entire game is a little bit of a story about taking care of our planet, taking care of each other, and learning how to grow. I absolutely adore the story, and I think it is worth the time to play the game. I also would say that the graphics for me are something I really like. Now, it does come off as Wind Waker, which I remember when Wind Waker released, a lot of people were bashing the graphics, so some people might find the graphics to be off-putting, but I think they work really well. And part of the reason why I think that is because the performance of the game. I'm not sure if it was incredibly detailed, like on characters, that it would perform as well as it does. Now, with that being said, it also has some performance issues. Now, why do I say it performs well if it also has performance issues? Well, I'll tell you what, because you're literally just flying across the water, doing a bunch of tricks, finding yourself gliding and sliding into these gigantic slides and kind of hook-shotting yourself into certain areas, and it doesn't seem to really have many problems with it. Not like you see in certain Pokemon games, for instance. But it does have a few like little hiccups here and there. There might be a glitch that has the boats doing weird stuff, or I found myself trapped in a boat one time. But it quickly resolved itself. It does just kind of break immersion. But being familiar with the capacity of the Nintendo Switch and what it's asking of the game, really, I appreciate the fact that they've gotten it as well as they have. I do think a patch would help, and they might be doing a day one patch, to be honest. I never had any crashes, but I definitely had some kind of glitchy things. The camera can sometimes pull you in a certain direction that you don't really want to go. This only happened to me one time, but it was incredibly frustrating when it happened, as I was trying to make a difficult jump as is, and the camera kept trying to direct me back to where I just came. That was a little bit annoying. And I will say too, a lot of people may be turned off by the battle system. It's pretty much just a hack and slash game where you're using one attack button. It's not very intuitive, and outside of like one boss, and in fact the final boss, I never really had any struggles. I had no worries, I should say. And I do want to be clear, I never even died at the final boss. It's just there were moments where I felt like it could potentially beat me. And most of that actually came from platforming, not exactly combat. So combat is where there's quite a bit of it in the game. It's not that difficult. I do like the fact that it has a navigation system. It tells you where to go next. And in this gigantic world with a lot of just area to explore, it's nice that it does allow for that. Now, if you just play the story and you play it pretty much straightforward, game can only be about 3.5 to 5 hours in that range, which is incredibly short for its price tag. And the value itself has kind of had me gone back and forth on how I feel about the game in total. Now, there is a lot of side quests and exploration that you can do. There's even like a post game where you can just kind of run around and I guess just have fun. Although I believe the issue is you have no motivation to do any of this other stuff because the currency doesn't really seem to mean much. You buy what you want, unless you want to just purchase every customizable item, which I don't know why you would, because you're not really playing with this character that long. Your currency does nothing else, and I think that could really change. Like, I hope that this game makes a sequel, because I like what they put out there. I really do, and after seeing the whole list of people who worked on it, and even understanding how it performed on the Switch, I can understand the $30 price tag, but I would like to see this game cheaper, to be honest. I think, somewhere around $15 to $18 would be perfect, and I would definitely recommend it. But for the $30 price tag, I have a little bit of hesitancy. Now, I will say, it's an amazing story. It's well written, well acted. So many things about it are completely impressive. I find it like almost as a Bowser's Fury meets Wind Waker, but condensed into a pretty small version of Wind Waker. Which is fine that it's a smaller game, I just wish the price matched that a little bit better. And with that being said though, there are some people who are going to enjoy just kind of a 4 or 5 hour game, and again, with the abilities that you have in the game, with the performance, again, hit or miss, but it typically does give you this sense of freedom. You can glide everywhere, you're doing crazy jumps, you're just having a lot of fun as you traverse this land and do side quests, and I'm pretty sure, by the way, if you really want to 100% this game, you're going to have a lot more than just 5 hours into the game. But I really think it should be known that this game is, well, incredibly short, really, when you look at just the main objectives. And if you want to explore more, if you want to open up more of the world, so to speak, there's really no payoff. There's no hidden items, no hidden weapons, no something like that. Just maybe some fun interactions and, things of that nature. But I can't exactly say that this isn't worth it, as I really enjoyed the story, the gameplay. I enjoyed so much about this game. But I don't know, for me, this is one of those I would recommend put it on a wish list, wait for it to have a sale, which I'm sure it will. The eShop is just full of sales all the time, but pick it up on a sale if you're unsure. If you do like shorter games and you think it matches that of like Stray, which is the same price and pretty close to about the same length, then go for it, because it is a good game. I would, like I said, like to see a patch for just a little bit more stabilization, but that really isn't even needed. It's just something that would help the game a little bit and maybe justify the cost a little bit as well. But anyway, that's my thoughts on Wavetale. I really like it, but again, it's just one of those games that's just a little bit too expensive if you ask me. I do hope that they have a sale on it or something like that, because this is a game that I do think everyone should check out and play, because I can't imagine anyone not liking it. It's really, really charming and really fun, and just a lot of things that I think have been missing from the Nintendo Switch recently. But anyway, like always, guys, I'm wishing you health, wealth, and above all, I hope you're truly happy, because you make me happy. Take care, everyone. Bye.